Several years ago, my wife and I did a jigsaw puzzle that was something like 1,000 pieces. And it was so hard that when we finished, we just glued the whole thing together because we never wanted to put ourselves through that again. Whenever I do a jigsaw puzzle, whether it's 1,000 pieces or a 30-piece puzzle with my kids, the first thing I always try to do is to build the edge of the puzzle. Because if I can get the edge in place, then I have some idea of how big this puzzle is going to be and get a rough idea of where the pieces are going to go. And I get a boost of confidence that maybe I really can finish this thing. Faith can be kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. Only we don't know how big it's going to be, and we don't know how many pieces there are, and we don't know what it's supposed to look like when we're done. And just when I get a cluster figured out, there will be something new that happens in my life that's like a new piece that now I have to figure out where it goes, and it kind of messes up that cluster that I already had. Faith gets complicated by life experiences, both good and bad, and by exposure to different belief systems. The more I learn and the more I live, the more I realize how this thing we call faith is so much bigger and more beautiful, but also more complex than I first imagined. And that realization can be frustrating and lonely and demoralizing. And so at Poncha Springs Church of Christ, we want to talk about a simple faith. And that doesn't mean we're trying to smooth over all of the problems and all the complexities that come with faith. Rather, simple faith is an attempt to define the edges, to find some fixed points so that we can get our bearings. And then when we have these new experiences, we have some idea of what to do with them. And so starting September 8th, we're going to talk about what we believe some of those edges are. We're going to talk about 4 of them. Who is God? And what do we mean by the word God? Who are we as human beings? And what does it mean to be human? Who is Jesus? And any worldview that calls itself Christian is going to have Jesus at the center of it. And then, what is faith? And what does it mean to be a person of faith? If we can get some simple answers to these 4 questions, that will be what we're calling simple faith. And that will be a grid for us that we can then take with us as we go through a lifetime of faith. So I hope you'll join us September 8th at Poncha Springs Church of Christ as we talk about simple faith.